Hi, and thanks for checking out my channel. My name is Hannah and this is Jar of Fireflies. Here you'll find content all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 3. And today, we're going camping. Okay, first off, yes, I am wearing glasses. I recently got them. They're really just for driving and I'm in my car right now, so they're on. Second thing, yes, we are going camping. And by we, I mean me, my kids, and the puppy. Yeah, because I somehow thought that'd be a great idea. So yeah, my husband had to stay home and work, so glad he has work to do, but a little bit concerned that I'm taking 3 kids and a puppy camping by myself, so we'll see how that works out. My parents are going to be there too, which is exciting. That's kind of what started this whole camping trip experience for this week. My parents are going camping for a few days and they were like, hey, why don't you come up for the day? Because it's not so far from where we live. And I said, well, why don't we just spend the night? And they were like, sure, there's a place to put a tent on our campsite. And I was like, we'll get our own campsite because I love my parents, but I also love my space. So we got the campsite directly next to theirs, which is great because it's got this nice little lake access and stuff. So, okay, sorry, this is like a little choppy. I guess the background out of my window keeps changing because I'm just kind of chatting with you guys at red lights while we drive up. So, all right, we're almost there now and I will see you when we get there. So there ended up being some kind of traffic going on close to the park. There was a big truck up in front of us that was hauling a house. So traffic was super slow going. So we cut off on some back roads, got to enjoy some amazing scenery as we approached the park. The kids really enjoyed getting to see a lot of cows and horses and sheep and just beautiful farmland. There was a barn at one point they got so excited about. So much fun. And finally, we arrived at the park. Overall, we made really good time getting there, so I was really happy with that. Pretty much no traffic except for that little stretch, but like I said, we cut off on those back roads. We had done all of our reservation and pre-booking, everything online before we came. So once we arrived, all we had to do was basically give them our name at the front gate, and they gave us a little sticker to put in the front of our car, and then we went to our campsite. Okay, so it looks like our tent spot is either there or there's like a slight open area over here
Actually, that's the way to the left.
that I may use instead because this area is going to be between my parents' campsite and ours. So I may use that instead. Okay, so we're gonna head down. We've got a little lake access here. We're gonna check that out before I go start setting up our site. Explore now and work later. That's what I say. Well, at least if we're out here, on our vacation and camping and stuff, right? So we walked down this short little trail, maybe 20-25 feet from our campsite to the lake. There was no beach area, but there was definitely a great spot to go in and wade. Okay, so after a little bit further assessment, I think I'm going to be setting up the tent right over here in between my site and my parents' site. It's not as flat of a site as over there where I think the tent is supposed to go, but it's going to be better because it's not right next to the campfire. And I'm going to want to wake up and make a fire in the morning. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start unloading stuff and my parents are on their way, so they should be here pretty soon too. Unloading everything didn't take too long. I just kind of had to clear out the back of the car. We had a couple of camp chairs. I had a bin filled with food and supplies for cooking and setting up camp. Had the tent to pull out, and another little bin that just kind of had some last minute stuff. And our cooler and their firewood. Pretty simple stuff. The kids continued to explore and play, and the dog found herself a nice cool spot in the shade, and then I was able to get started on our lunch. The plan for lunch was macaroni and cheese, so I pulled out my trusty old camp stove, put some dryer lint in the bottom, and then started tearing up some twigs so that I could get a little fire going in the stove in order to boil the water for the macaroni and cheese. While I was working on getting that little camp stove fire going, the kids sat down and grabbed all our camp dishes and started playing restaurant or kitchen or something along those lines. Before too long there, I got a nice little flame going for my water, and the dog in the meantime was doing her favorite activity of digging holes in the ground. I think she was just trying to get a little bit cooler by getting to that dirt just a little bit below the ground level. So, note to self, I do need to get her a longer leash for campsite. Okay, so we're pretty much set up here. I've got the table area is set up with like our bins of food and water, got lunch cooking, tablecloth ready to go. And then over here we got the dog area set up. She's like right there. She's hiding back there, kind of chilling in the shade. She's found a nice cool spot. Got our campfire area set up with my little grill top there and our firewood. And then I hung up our towels on a little clothesline. So the only thing really left to do is finish getting lunch made, eventually set up the tent. This is assuming that we actually stay. It's somewhat debatable right now. But the kids have been having fun exploring the campsite, playing in the woods, all that jazz. Oh, and we got our checkers set up right there. We got our little camp checker set up. So yeah, it's really pretty out here. It is a bit warmer than I had anticipated. It is quite hot, but that's okay. The kids are having a blast, and I just love being outside. So, you know, this is always something that I need, being outside. So we're here, we're amidst the green. Texas green is kind of brambly, but at least in my part of Texas, it's kind of brambly. You know, it's not just like beautiful trees like Alaska or somewhere cool like that has, but it is what it is. Well, so the kids are playing now. They're running around with sticks, and they've named the woods the Whispering Woods, which I think is super cute. So, all right, our water is about to boil, so I'm gonna head over, finish up lunch, and I don't know, maybe we'll go on a hike later this afternoon. There's a really nice, easy trail here. So, all right, let's get to it. Well, I still hadn't gotten the water to boil yet, but it was looking on the verge of boiling, and since a watched kettle never boils, we decided to head back down toward the lake one more time before we ate lunch. And this time, our dog got a little bit more in the water. Now, we were told that she enjoyed water. So I had been kind of like, I thought this dog enjoyed water. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, pow! She just started jumping around like a bunny rabbit in the water, having just the time of her life. It was the cutest thing. It was clear how much she was enjoying the water. So that was basically way too much fun to have Bella down in the water. She was super crazy. We took the leash off for a little bit. She got to run all over the place and jump in the water, and she had a blast. She's over there chilling now. And we are just waiting. I ended up having to send our pot of water over to my mom's camper because I couldn't get my little stove to crank up quite enough juice to get the water boiling. It's like almost boiling, but it wasn't quite doing the trick. It's fine for things like pancakes and tortillas, but apparently not for a whole box of macaroni and cheese. Learning something new every day. And I was just attacked by fire ants. If you are not familiar with fire ants because you are not from Texas, they are basically what they sound like. Ants who are made of fire. They are teeny tiny, and they bite you, and it burns, and it continues to burn. I'm still burning, oh my gosh. So yeah. Also, all the kids got their shoes wet. So that's where we're at right now. We're waiting for the boiling water to come back. Wow, she's gonna come back with macaroni. It's pretty fair trade to me. My dad's gonna take a nap, so I think my mom's gonna hang out here with us. And yeah, we'll just probably chill. I just opened a Coke because, oh gosh, it is just that point in my day already. I still haven't set the tent up yet, I think because I'm still not 100% sure we're gonna stay the night. This is rough, you guys. It is rough. It is good, it is fun, but it is also rough. At last, the kids had lunch. The macaroni and cheese was made and eaten, and they had snacked so much by then, they really didn't eat a whole lot of it. So, oh well. After lunch, we went down to the nature trail here at the park. It's just a really short, flat trail that's perfect for my kids just to get out in the nature. There's a lot of pine trees around there, so it's a little bit different than the nature where the campsites are even. So, and maybe it's only a mile. It's not long at all, so the kids can totally handle this one. There are also a lot of markers along the trail that talk about the different native plants to the area and have the pictures so we can see right there what it is, which is really neat. And oh yeah, Texas is poison ivy territory. I still have poison ivy over here from earlier this week. And there was even a historical marker along the trail. For me though, gosh, I just love walking along and looking at the scenery and just being there among the trees and the nice cool shade with my family. It just doesn't really get any better than this. About halfway down the trail, we hit a spot where the trail veers off and it goes down to the lake, and there's another nice little spot for waiting. So we went down there and all the kids took their shoes and socks off and ran down to go see the water. We all got to get in and cool off and get our feet wet before heading back to the car. And yes, Bella swam again. All right, so we are back at the campsite. The walk was great. It was really fun. We got to stop and play in the water there in the middle. My daughter's chilling in the hammock over here. Yeah, buddy?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry? You want me to get you a snack? Okay, give me 1 minute and I'll get you a snack. You need it now? Okay, I'll be back. Gotta get the toddler a snack. Okay, everybody has snacks and stuff like that now, so I think we're doing a little bit better. Everybody's got a Gatorade and I got a drink, so Coke. But yes, we are back. We're in the only shady spot on our campsite, which is the end of our driveway. So yeah, we're never staying at this campsite again. It's totally, there are fire ants here. There's no shade. There's nowhere good to put up a tent.
We should go to the other one with all the houses that we do Cub Scout camp.
Yeah. The kids want to go back to where we did our Cub Scout camp, which had all these screen shelters everywhere and tons of places to set up tents.
Yeah, this one is too boring.
Too boring.
I cannot find the way
Super
to
boring.
make a lean-to.
You gonna make a lean-to? Go make a lean-to.
How?
I don't know.
Because I've been on my sticks to a different spot.
Yeah.
Like next to the car.
Not next to the car. No. So that's it. We're just kind of chilling, and I'll set up the tent soon because I guess I'm committed to spending the night. Okay, we just spent some time hanging out over at my parents' campsite, just kind of sitting around, letting the dogs get to know each other. They've got a dog too. And just kind of hanging out. You know, it was really nice to spend the time with them. Now we're back at our site. They're making dinner, we're making dinner. Yeah, my older son, the Cub Scout, is working on building our campfire right now. I'm just giving him a few instructions, then he'll get to light that up here pretty soon. So now we're just gonna make some dinner. We're doing some tacos. I've already cooked the chicken. All we're really doing is heating up the tortillas. Should be super duper easy. And my kids have been snacking so much, they'll probably only want to eat tortillas anyways. But let's go get this started. Okay, we got a pretty nice fire going now. Pretty proud of the boy. And now I'm going to set up our tent. I guess I'm committing. I don't know, if I don't do it now, I'm afraid the sun will go down and I won't have a chance. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. We're gonna go ahead, get that done. My oldest son is hanging out over by the fire, just watching his handiwork. My youngest son is playing on the hammock and my daughter's just kind of running around. So we're having fun. I go back and forth between am I crazy and this is fun, but that's okay. So overall, it's fun. It's good. And it's good that we're getting out of the house and getting into nature. So it's a win. Let's go set up that tent. I will just add that it is definitely hard to film. So I'm sorry there isn't probably as much footage as I would have liked of everything, just because me keeping track of 3 kids next to a street, next to a lake, next to a fire, all that sort of thing. Definitely a bit distracting, and obviously they're my top priority here and not making a video. So yeah, just a lot going on, but it's still fun to share with you guys. Okay, now I really don't know what to do. I went to go set up the tent and there were fire ants. So there is really absolutely no good place to set up a tent here at this campsite because fire ants, except maybe the driveway, but that would be super uncomfortable. My daughter just skinned her knee really bad, so she's a little upset there in the background, but I got her all fixed up with big bandage and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what to do right now. I don't know if we should just have dinner and call it a night, or if we should set up on the driveway and be uncomfortable. I mean, I'm gonna be uncomfortable on it anyways, let's be honest, but there's also fire ants on the driveway. So I don't really know. I'm trying not to let my personal feelings of being very tired and exhausted of having 3 children at a campsite without my husband, you know, those feelings put aside. But I don't know. The kids really want to stay, and I want to stay for them. And I don't know how I'm going to make it work. Okay, so we ended up setting up the tent in the driveway, and that's going to be awesome. Okay, but the kids really want to spend the night, so we are. I think I think it's good. So we're gonna eat some dinner now. What time? I don't even know what time it is. Maybe 6-ish, 7, who knows? I'll flip you around, let you guys see the tent, and then we're gonna quickly eat dinner, and I don't know what's next. Our tent setup is pretty basic. It's just a little, 3 or 4 person dome tent, and I just lined up all our sleeping bags and stuff down here along the wall. We did end up flipping our heads around to face the other direction because turns out with our pillows down there, we were slightly downhill. But we were good to go for the evening now. It is 6:15, by the way. Oh gosh, well, he's having fun, isn't he? Okay, dinner. So the tortillas ended up getting spilled on the ground. So our tacos have turned into just chicken with random toppings of sour cream and salsa and guacamole. But everybody is super thrilled, and they all say it's like the best dinner ever. So I'm just gonna roll with it, and that's what we got. Okay, we're gonna eat some dinner, hang out with my mom, and then go to bed. So again, because of keeping track of the kids and everything else under the sun, I will probably not check in with you guys until we are in the tent. I mean, my kids seriously enjoy this dinner so much that I will probably start making this meal at home for us and not just save it for a camping thing. Though we do definitely eat tacos at home fairly often. They tend to eat just the tortillas, but not serving tortillas, they ended up eating all the meat and sides. So win-win. Anyways, I grabbed the dishes and started filling up our bus tub after dinner so that I could get those cleaned up. I just carried them over to our water faucet thing. We were at a campsite that did have full electric and water hookups, which is definitely super convenient for things like washing dishes after dinner. So my kids really wanted to help with the dishwashing, and who am I to say no to such an offer? So I put some soap on the sponge and they got to work, and of course I had to wash the dishes again myself after, but you know, that's not necessarily the point. After dinner cleanup and all of that, my mom took the kids and I for a walk around the campsite. She knew where a playground was, so we decided to go find that. So we're doing a little walk through the campsite. Just changed my son's pod for his diabetes, and we're in search of a playground, but also just enjoying the scenery. We just saw several deer hop by. Come on, buddy. And we're wearing the dog and the kids out before bed. It's getting on around 7, which is early bedtime for us. We're not planning to go to bed quite yet, but as soon as it hits dark out, I think they're all gonna crash. We'll see. We did find the playground, and right next to it was a deer, a really pretty buck. So that was such a treat. And the kids got to play on the playground for a little while, also such a treat. And then we kept walking back towards our campsite, and we came across this gorgeous campsite where nobody was at, and it just had like the most perfect view of the sunset. This is a campsite number that I would write down to stay at again because this campsite was gorgeous. Well, it didn't have any shade, but in the winter that wouldn't be a problem. But just that view of the sunset, that's everything right there, you guys. Gorgeous. Okay, we're in bed. That was an adventure getting here. Yes, it's a little bit warm, it's a bit toasty, but that's okay. Hopefully people will actually fall asleep. I know I'm probably not, but that's okay. So yeah, check back with you guys in the morning. Hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you in a few moments. When the morning came, all 3 kids were actually asleep, and I just lay there for a little bit, just enjoying the view of the sky above our tent. Bella woke up also, but she was content to just lay there with me for a moment. Well, good morning. Oh my goodness. I'm talking a little quiet just because people are still sleeping in tents and stuff around us. But it does kind of sound like the world is waking up. My world absolutely is waking up. All three are awake and dressed. It's like 7 a.m., but it's light out. So we did end up taking the rain cover off of our tent there in the middle of the night. And of course it sprinkled a little bit despite the like 0 chance of rain, but it was fine. It actually cooled us off a little bit. The night was interesting. The beginning of the night was very rough trying to get everyone in there. At one point, the dog got out of the tent. One of the kids had opened the tent and she just zoomed on out. I was at the car and I didn't even see her. She's black, it was dark. So I ended up, I started running around looking for him and like this huge panic. And she was next door at my parents' campsite. She came right when I called her. So that all worked out. The kids started off scared to go to sleep, and I kind of expected that because that's pretty normal. You know, it's dark, we're in a tent, Abba's not here, you know. But it all ended up working out. They all did eventually fall asleep, maybe around midnight. I didn't really sleep much last night at all. I think we were having some diabetes malfunction, equipment malfunction there. And I ended up having to give my son an actual shot of insulin in the middle of the night because I think his pod might not have been working. Then everybody ended up waking up at like 3 in the morning. And of course, you know, I'm awake anyways because any little noise that happens in or outside of my tent, I'm waking up to make sure that the people that I love in my tent are okay. I didn't really sleep, maybe a couple short naps. So anyways, everybody was up at like 3 in the morning and we ended up having like the best conversation ever. It was amazing. So if that was the only good thing to come of this whole camping trip, the whole thing was a huge success. But that was not the only good thing. There's been a lot of good things. It's been ups and downs, roller coasters, a little bit rough here and there, but it has been overall good. I'm definitely glad we came. Oh, and the dog was great in the tent all night. Bella was fantastic, and I am thrilled about that. So, okay, so I'm gonna pop over, say good morning to my folks, and then get these kiddos some breakfast, get me a little caffeine so that I can survive the rest of the day, and then we'll pack up camp and get on out of here. So we'll see if anything else interesting happens. Work on breakfast. The little camp stove was trucking along enough today to cook our breakfast, so that worked. We're very into English breakfast lately, so I had brought along the fixins for that. So we had some vegan sausage, some baked beans, some eggs, and some bread with butter, and for those who wanted it, jam. At breakfast, I realized that there was 100% a problem with our diabetes stuff. The insulin pump was not connected to my son, so I needed to change his pod. So I brought out all our supplies and got that taken care of. Okay, we're all cleared out. Campsite empty. All right, so we're just gonna go say goodbye to my folks and then head out of here. It was a good trip. I am so happy with it. I'm really glad that we came, even though there were definitely some rough moments, and I will never stay at this campsite again if I can help it. We'll literally be writing down this campsite number so that we don't stay here again. But that's kind of it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know I super enjoyed sharing it with you as always. Please be sure to like this video if you did enjoy it, and be sure to hit subscribe and that bell if you haven't already so that you don't miss any of my future videos. All right, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next upload.